He's served as a hero to the American people.
And he's doing good in the world.
He's on TV, you see him in books and the magazines.
I love him.
He's wonderful. He is my hero.
He rescued me.
And we appreciate him.
We need a guy like SuperGuy.
SuperGuy.
SuperGuy!
SuperGuy.
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 SuperGuy's the bomb.
Yeah, we need the superhero guy.
I would just get butterflies if he just came, this close to me. I don't know. I've never felt that way about anybody.
If I could be anything, I'd be SuperGuy.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere.
He could be the first of a vanguard of an invading army from outer space.
I don't need his approval, and I don't need yours.
They want him gone.
Is he not the Antichrist?
A big guy in a stupid costume.
He's the one that knocked me out of my house, and he's gonna pay for this.
Whether his arrival was good or bad, welcomed or suspect, it was as reality changing as the world going from flat to round. Ever since his arrival, we've been trying to get to know a little more about this guy. Is he a guy at all? Is he human? Where did he come from? We went to great lengths to get this exclusive behind-the-scenes look at SuperGuy Behind the Cape. Nighttime in the City of Angels. On any given evening, every few seconds brings about another emergency. Accidents, fires, crimes. The odds of us showing up at a crisis and catching up with the most sought-after guardian angel of them all is 100 to 1. We cannot be everywhere at once. No one can. Not even him.
We have one alarm fire in progress at the corner of Sutton Street and Sherman Oaks. Occupancy of house unknown.
This is Tanya Myers reporting to you live on the scene of the fire in the Kester block of Sherman Oaks.
When I'm at a rescue situation, I don't quite have too much time to think. It's just sort of an instinctual thing.
I'm standing here in a cauldron of heat as the firefighters are trying to get the fire under control. They have contained the blaze.
It is exciting at times, There's not a whole lot that I can't do.
Need to step back. Out of the way.
Oh, there is a woman. There is a woman coming out of the home.
Put me here.
No. She's trying to get back into the house.
My baby! My baby!
Oh, I can't confirm it, but it seems that there is a child in the home.
Policemen, firemen, they're very courageous in that sense, where they do put their lives on the line. There is a chance that they can die in the process.
So you need to get back, out of the way, behind the barrier.
Flying in, I have the opportunity to sort of assess the entire situation, sort of the big picture.
SuperGuy!
I think that courage to me means to follow an instinct without thinking.
I got somebody. Everybody stand back. He's coming through with somebody. Come on, stand back, everybody. Stand back. Coming through. Get up. Come on, turn left. Get over.
Please, let's do our job.
We have an 8-year-old Caucasian girl here. He's a person possibly second-degree
Let them work, man. Let them work.
All right, let's get back to work.
Let's go. Let's fire settle.
SuperGuy has done it again. SuperGuy, could we have a few words with you?
Usually I don't have time to hang out. I need to just get in and get out. I'm usually always needed somewhere else.
What was it like in there? Thank God you were here to rescue this child in the heat.
A lot of people need my help right now. Stand back, please. Here.
All right.
We got lucky tonight. and so did that family. But we got just a glimpse, a mere brush with the elusive hero, and we want to know so much more. It's hard to imagine a world without him, but that's just how the world was a short time ago, when there was no such thing as a real superhero. He grew up as Mark Trent in Littletown, California, raised by Sam and Mary Jo Trent. Sam grew up the son of migrant workers and ran off at his earliest opportunity. In search of fame and fortune, he became a boxer, but his career was short-lived. He settled in Littletown, where he became a mechanic and started his own auto repair shop, Sam's Garage. Mary Jo was born the daughter of a preacher. She traveled throughout the South with her father, spreading the word of God and aiding the sick and homeless. She eventually settled in Littletown, where she met Sam. They married and together had a daughter, Elizabeth Trent. Their marriage was an unlikely one. Mary Jo spent Sunday mornings in church. Sam spent them in the woods with his still. The first few years were rocky, and what was to follow, neither could have believed. Along came their son, Mark, SuperGuy. He was born around 1950, or was he?
I was the force behind this phenomenon, this Martian. My son, I'm a stepfather, not his real son. He's from another planet.
Let me make it clear, he is not my stepbrother. He is my brother. I'm his real sister. And no, he did not come from another planet.
I never had a choice in coming to this planet.
Mark is my one and only son.
I'll always be Mark Trent. I'm SuperGuy's second.
According to Hollywood and his father, the story went something like this. Curiously similar to the story of the fictional comic book hero Superman, SuperGuy came from outer space, from the planet Crisco, which orbited an enormous sun. His real parents, the king and queen of Crisco, who loved him without condition, spared him their fate by sending him away to Earth before their world was blown to smithereens. He landed on Earth and was raised by two adoring, doting parents.
You know, one day, you're gonna be famous.
You're here for a reason.
Make us proud, son. Make us proud.
It was nothing like that. Just nothing like that.
Hollywood always romanticizes everything. That makes a good Hollywood fairy tale. There was no proof of what really happened that day. The still blew up, and he was thrown unconscious, and when he woke up, he had these powers. And I haven't made up any stories. The only story that I made up was going along with Sam when he said that Mark was from another planet.
And he would call Mark a freak, and he told him he was an alien. He said he was like from another planet, right? So that's where that thing came from.
And I embellished that it was a planet Crisco, and that his mother and father were the king and queen of Crisco.
I made it up? Why do you think he can jump over a building? Because he's got good legs?
Fairy tale or not, extraterrestrial or born of a silly mishap, one item remained true. By the age of 5, he had developed superhuman strength. Although threatened, his father, Sam, also saw opportunity and helped himself.
SG. He says, what does that mean? I said, SuperGuy. Good idea, Dad. Great idea, Dad.
Some say it was Sam who thought up SG all by himself.
It was for publicity for his used car lot and the garage, Sam's Garage.
Sam got exposure when he put young Mark in the summer circus. He was the youngest strongman ever.
I was about 8 years old, and I was the strong boy in the circus.
And then came another surprise.
His trapeze friends said they'd teach him to fly.
And then, one day, he just kept flying. That was amazing.
This raised the stakes. While his father plotted his next move, he kept the boy under wraps. Mom happily taught young Mark humility, not to be prideful of his God-given gifts. He was told to keep his powers a secret. This proved to be quite a challenge.
There's always seemed to be one or two children that were just on their own path, and nothing you could do would change them.
Damn kid. Couldn't discipline him. He had a mind of his own. I'd say that at least. He was everywhere.
I was just an average kid.
He was just had no fear whatsoever, and no respect.
Sam used to beat up on Mark.
I could suggest things to him, like it went in one ear and out the other.
When he drank, he became very abusive.
Every kid thinks his father is mean. Wife, too. You know, once in a while you've got to, well, you know, put them in their place a little. I mean, you gotta let them know who's boss.
But he was a good man. I learned a lot of lessons from my father.
This is a thing that's been handed down from generation. The man of the house. I am the man of the house. This is something my father taught me and his father before him. Forget about my father. Don't ask me about my father anymore. My father was a good man. I was a good man. What's the next question?
Mark got angry, too, because he was like his dad. He would pick up after his dad. His dad got angry, then Mark would get angry.
He came up with his fist up, and he started pounding, and I thought he was going to kill that other kid. Took 3 teachers to run up and grab him and pull him off of him.
There's always one kid that wants to pick on me, and I show him who's boss, and then the rest of the year it's smooth sailing.
He beat the shit out of me one day, the little Martian. I took a swipe at him and he grabbed my arm and he slapped me. Can you imagine?
Mark was so much stronger, and Sam couldn't stand that. He wanted to be the strong man in the family.
Little sucker. Little...
He was 7, and he and Sam were roughhousing, and there's Sam on the floor.
In fact, Mark used to beat the shit out of him sometimes.
He was angry. I think it was from his mother. It came from his mother, that the anger they had.
There's Sam again on the floor in the background, and he's you could see that he's angry.
He beat the shit out of my uncle. My uncle says, "Get him the hell out of here. I don't want none of that shit."
His father, however, struck the final blow, a blow that would control the family and the SuperGuy name to this day.
When SuperGuy, before he turned 18, his dad, his drunk father, sold all the rights for just hundreds of dollars.
He did sell off the story, the rights, and then he got a tidy sum for them. And then he went off in the world.
I sold it so that they could eat. That's what I sold it for, so that they could eat.
He sold all of the rights to the name, use, and likeness of SuperGuy to a company that soon became the empire known as SuperGuy Incorporated.
It's now a $1 billion franchise with coffee mugs and posters and everything, and he doesn't own the rights.
I was totally scammed, is what I was. That's because of my naivete. It's not the money so much. I mean, I want some money, but I want respect, is what I want. I want some money, is what I want.
SuperGuy Inc. kept young Mark a secret as they carefully orchestrated his imminent superhero career. They groomed him for the day that he would be strategically revealed to the unsuspecting American public.
I've got to tell you, things are not looking good for your afternoon commute. We've got heavy traffic on the 101, and the 405 looks like, holy shit!
Good evening. You're watching Action News 9, and tonight you are not going to believe what we have to report.
Breaking news.
It's
Los Angeles is making world news tonight.
You are not going to believe your eyes.
What we're showing you are actual scenes from earlier today. This is not a hoax.
We now know we are being visited by something from another planet.
This is actual news footage. These are not camera tricks.
What you are watching is a man flying and doing super feats.
We have a real live superhero in our city.
The White House, the Pentagon have not yet released any statements.
What's the SG?
He calls himself
SuperGuy, of course.
He says he got the costume.
Local authorities want residents to remain inside.
Police urge people to remain calm and not to interact with this flying man.
We cannot confirm reports as to whether or not he is an extraterrestrial or a mutation.
Is he truly a
of some
friend
kind.
or a foe?
The face of our world, indeed our very reality, has changed forever.
Initially, the country was in shock. Was it a hoax? Everyone demanded some explanation.